The question asked by Maida Khalid, when we are fasting, after doing wudu, how many times do we have to spit to ensure that we don't swallow wudu water? When you do wudu, one of the important things you do in wudu is you gargle, you put water into your mouth. And when you gargle, you throw the water out. You normally gargle thrice, so you throw the water out thrice. If you have thrown out the water properly, you don't have to additionally spit out more. There's a misconception that many of the people think that you have to keep on spitting. When you gargle, but naturally you gargle in the mouth, you put water and you throw the water out. As long as you have thrown all the water out, it is sufficient. If you realize that there's some water remaining, then you can spit it out, no problem. But there is no hard and fast rule that you should spit once or spit twice or spit thrice. But naturally, you're putting water in your mouth thrice, all the 3 times you throw it out, that's it, that's sufficient. If you fear that there is some water remaining, you can spit out, but it's not compulsory that you have to keep spitting out to be sure that no water has remained. Normally, when you are at the daytime or while sleeping, there is saliva being secreted from your mouth, and this moistens your mouth. This saliva, which is normally secreted, it normally goes back. It is secreted and it is ingested, there's no harm at all. But purposefully, if you collect saliva in your mouth and make it into a large quantity and then you swallow, that is wrong. But normally the saliva which is secreted, it goes into the stomach, there's no problem at all, whether you're awake or whether you're asleep. So similarly, while doing wudu, normally the sunnah of wudu is that you have to sniff excessively. That's the sunnah of the wudu. You sniff the water into your nose excessively. So what the Prophet said, that while fasting, do not sniff excessively. So sniffing excessively when you're not fasting is a sunnah. As I told you in my recommended acts, that some of the sunnahs are different of Ramadan. So while you're fasting, you should not sniff excessively while doing wudu. Because when you sniff excessively, there are high chances that the water through your nostril can go inside and can break your fast. So while fasting, when you're doing wudu, you should take precaution of not to sniff into your nose excessive water, that's it. But while gargling, do the normal gargle that you do and spit out the water, that is sufficient.